If you're traveling to Europe, listen up. The EU just rolled out their new entry-exit system this past weekend, and 82% of travelers have no idea what's going on or how it's going to impact their trips. In fact, 35% didn't even know it was happening. We are already seeing cancellations, we're already seeing panic, and the rollout isn't even complete yet. Only 3 countries have it fully operational. So here's the deal. You can either show up unprepared and stressed, adding hours to your border crossing time, or you can spend the next 10 minutes with me and know exactly what to expect, what to bring, and how to breeze through while everyone else is panicking. I'm Brad with Evolution Expats, and we specialize in helping digital nomads, remote workers, and anyone pursuing second residency or second citizenship navigate the increasingly complex world of international travel and relocation. This entry-exit system isn't just another bureaucratic headache. It's a fundamental shift in how the EU tracks who comes in and goes out of the Schengen area. And if you're living abroad or planning to, this affects you directly. Hit that like button and subscribe now, because we are going to break down exactly what this system is, which countries are implementing it, what the timeline looks like, and, here's the surprise I'll share later, another even bigger system coming in 2026 that will require you to get pre-authorization before you even board your flight. Let's get you prepared. The Entry-Exit System, EES, is the EU's new digital border crossing system designed to track non-EU nationals entering and exiting the Schengen area. Here's what it's replacing. Those little entry and exit stamps on your passport, remember those? The ones that the border agents would carefully place on a blank page, sometimes running out of room in your passport if you travel frequently? Those are gone. Instead, the EU is creating a centralized digital database that records your name, your biometric data, a face scan and fingerprints, the exact date and location you entered the Schengen area, and the exact date and location you exited. Why are they doing this? 2 reasons. Border security and tracking visa overstays. The Schengen area allows most tourists, including Americans, Canadians, Brits, Australians, to stay for 90 days within 180-day periods. But tracking who's actually complying with that rule has been a nightmare with paper stamps. Now, they'll know instantly. If you overstay your 90 days, it's in the system. If you try and re-enter too soon, it's in the system. The EES eliminates the gray area that travelers have historically been able to exploit. Here's where it gets interesting and potentially frustrating. The EU launched the EES in October, but they're not rolling it out everywhere at once. Instead, it's a 6-month phased implementation because, surprise, building the infrastructure to scan millions of travelers takes time and money. As of this past Sunday, only 3 countries have the full system operational: Estonia, Luxembourg, and the Czech Republic. That's it. Switzerland has it working at Basel and Geneva airports right now. Zurich won't get it until mid-November. Smaller airports, March 2026. In Germany, only Dusseldorf Airport is running the EES as of Sunday. Frankfurt and Munich are coming next, while other airports will follow later. Spain is literally testing it with a single flight arriving at Madrid Airport. So, if you're traveling to Europe this month or anytime in the future, the experience you will have depends entirely on which country you are entering and which border crossing point you are using. This creates a bizarre situation where you might sail through the airport with traditional passport stamps, and then on your next trip face the full biometric scanning system at a different entry point. Here's my advice. Assume the worst. Assume the system is in place wherever you're going, because by the time you're watching this video, more locations will have gone live, and the EU isn't exactly publicizing a detailed implementation schedule. If you're coming from the UK, and I know many of you in our community are, you'll need to pay special attention because Brexit has made your situation more complicated. At the Port of Dover and the Eurotunnel at Folkestone, as of Sunday, only freight and coach traffic is subject to EES checks. Car passengers will begin screening November 1st. This was a deliberate decision to avoid absolute chaos during the initial rollout. Eurostar, departing from London in St. Pancras, as of Sunday, only business and premium passengers get the checks. Standard class passengers will begin screening in January 2026. Why the delay? Space constraints at St. Pancras Station. The issue is that the French border officials conduct exit checks on UK soil before you board. Eurostar has had to install up to 49 new biometric kiosks, but St. Pancras literally doesn't have enough room for all of them in the normal departure area. They're scattered throughout the station in spaces currently used by domestic rail operators. Eurostar has doubled their border staff and is letting passengers board 30 minutes earlier to manage this bottleneck. The bottom line for UK travelers, If you're driving through Dover or taking the Channel, November 1st is your date. If you're taking the Eurostar, it depends on your ticket class. Now, let's walk through what you'll actually experience when you hit a border with EES operational. Part 1. Upon your first crossing, expect registration. You'll approach a self-service kiosk similar to those automated immigration gates you've probably seen at airports. You'll scan your passport or travel document. Then the system captures a facial scan. Look at the camera, no smiling, similar to the passport photo rules. It takes fingerprint scans of all 10 fingers, your name, travel document details, as well as date and location of your entry. This information is stored in the EES database for 3 years. Part 2. Then, subsequent entries within 3 years. You'll approach the kiosk. You'll provide either a fingerprint or a facial scan. The system matches you against the stored data. Done. It sounds simple, and for individual travelers it might be. But here's the problem. When a flight full of 200 people lands simultaneously and they all need to complete the process, the queue can get quite long. Julia Saeed, CEO of Advantage Travel Partnership, told the BBC that travelers should allow 3 to 4 hours to get through these new checks during the initial rollout phase. 3 to 4 hours. That's not a typo. That's not fear-mongering. That's the official recommendation from industry experts who have studied the system's capacity. My recommendation? Add a significant buffer time to any connecting flights if you're transiting through a European airport to reach your final destination. Do not book a flight connection right now. The risk of missing your flights is very real. Good news though, if you fall into certain categories, you're exempt from the EES entirely. You do not need to register if you are a legal EU citizen, an EU resident with a valid residence permit, or holding a long-stay visa for an EU country. This is important for our community because many of you are pursuing or have already obtained a second residency in the EU countries. Once you have that residency card, the EES does not apply to you. You'll use a separate EU, EEA, national lane at border control. This is one of many reasons why obtaining EU residency, even if you're not ready to pursue citizenship, provides tangible, practical benefits beyond just the right to live in the country. Here's what makes EES serious. It's going to strictly enforce the 90 out of 180 day rule. For those unfamiliar, as a tourist in the Schengen area, you can stay for 90 days within any rolling 180-day period. In the past, tracking this was difficult. Border agents stamped your passport, but calculating whether you'd exceeded the days required manual review, and many travelers intentionally or accidentally pushed the limits. The EES eliminates that ambiguity. The system knows exactly how many days you've been in the Schengen area at any given time. When you attempt to enter, it will automatically flag if you are in violation. So, what happens if you overstay? An immediate denial of entry, a potential ban from the Schengen area ranging from months to years, an impact on future visa applications for any country. Overstays appear on your record. In severe cases, legal consequences and fines. This isn't theoretical. The whole point of the EES is to catch overstays that were previously getting through. If you're a digital nomad or remote worker who's been playing fast and loose with the 90-day limit, those days are over. The EU is not messing around. The solution? Get proper residency in an EU country if you want to spend extended time there. We help clients do exactly this, identify which countries have accessible residency pathways for your situation, preparing documentation, and navigating the application process. Remember how I said there was a surprise coming? Here it is. The entry-exit system is only part of the EU's new border control approach. In late 2026, possibly rolling into 2027 after a transitional grace period, the EU is launching the ETIAS, the European Travel Information and Authorization System. Here's what it means. Even though you don't need a visa to enter the Schengen area as an American, Canadian, Australian, or other visa-exempt traveler, you will need to obtain advanced authorization before you travel. This is similar to the US ESTA system that foreigners use before flying to America. The process: you complete an online application before your trip. You provide personal details, answer security questions, and pay a €20 fee, about 21 to 22 US dollars. You wait for approval, usually within minutes to 96 hours. Now, who needs this? Travelers from 60 plus visa-exempt countries, including the United States, the United Kingdom, Canada, and Australia. Who is exempt from the fee? Children under 18 and adults over 70. You still need authorization, but the €20 fee is waived. How long will this be valid? 3 years. until your passport expires, whichever comes first. Here's the key points. ETIAS authorization is required before you board a flight to Europe. No ETIAS, no boarding pass. Airlines will check your ETIAS status during the check-in, just like they currently verify that you have the necessary visas for your destination. So, you're looking at a two-layered system: ETIAS pre-authorization before you travel, and the EES biometric registration when you arrive. Both systems working together to track who's entering, how long they're staying, and whether they're complying with the rules. Now, I want to be clear about what this means for anyone in our community who is serious about living abroad. The days of easy, unchecked movement through Europe are ending. The bureaucracy is increasing, the systems are becoming more sophisticated, and the enforcement is getting stricter. This isn't meant to scare you, it's meant to prepare you. If you are tourists visiting Europe once a year for 2 weeks, EES and ETIAS are minor inconveniences. You'll comply, you'll get through, life goes on. But if you're a digital nomad trying to spend extended time in Europe, if you're a remote worker exploring whether Portugal or Spain could be home, if you're considering European second residency or citizenship, these systems are forcing you to make a decision. Are you going to remain a perpetual tourist with increasingly limited access and strict monitoring? Or are you going to establish legal residency and gain the freedom to live, work, and travel without constantly watching the calendar? The EU is making it very clear what they want. If you're going to spend significant time in European countries, they want you in the system officially. They want you paying taxes, holding residency permits, and being trackable. For many of our clients, this accelerates their timeline for pursuing European residency or citizenship. Why deal with the 90 out of 180 restriction, ETIAS applications every 3 years, and constant scrutiny when you could have a residence card and the freedom of movement associated? Alright, let's wrap this up. The EU's entry-exit system started rolling out this past weekend and will be fully implemented across the Schengen area within 6 months. The key takeaways: the system tracks non-EU travelers using biometric data stored for 3 years. Implementation is phased. Different countries and airports are going live at different times. Expect significant delays during the initial rollout period. Allow 3 to 4 hours for border processing. The 90 out of 180-day rule will now strictly be enforced with no room for wiggling. UK travelers face special considerations depending on their departure point and travel class. ETIAS pre-authorization is coming in late 2026, early 2027, adding another layer to the process. If you're stressed out about these changes, good. Stress means you're paying attention. But here's the thing, you don't have to navigate this alone. This is literally what we do at Evolution Expats. We help people like you understand how these changing rules impact your travel and relocation plans. And we help you build compliant, sustainable strategies for living abroad. Before you go anywhere, and I mean this very explicitly, check out our document preparation playlist in the description below. Getting your house in order takes time. Apostille birth certificates, background checks, financial documentation, these things don't happen overnight, and they're prerequisites for almost every European and worldwide residency application. Start gathering your documents now while you're still researching countries and options, and to maximize progress during this time, book a consultation with us. We'll sit down with you and understand your unique situation, your citizenship goals, your timeline, your budget, and your lifestyle priorities, and we'll deliver a comprehensive analysis of your best options. You'll walk away knowing exactly which countries make sense for you, what the process looks like, what it costs, and what your path forward is. Aspiring digital nomads should pick up our world's largest digital nomad visa guide, which includes all available European digital nomad visas, how to choose, how to apply, and after watching this video, you'll know how to stay compliant. We are not here to sell you on a fantasy. We are here to give you reality-based guidance that actually gets you to your destination. The laws are constantly changing, so subscribe so you don't get caught without the latest information. Thanks for joining me, and we'll see you in our next video.